Hello, today I'm going to do a marrow with red tomato chutney. What we need is 1 pound of marrow. The marrow has to be peeled and skinned, and then you weigh it and chopped up in small pieces. I'll show you that in a few minutes. What we need is 1 pound of red tomatoes, and this is 8 ounces of chopped onions, garlic. We need 3 cloves of garlic. We need 1 teaspoon of pickling spice. That's pickling spice there. Well, that's a tablespoon of pickling spice. Sorry, 1 tablespoon of pickling spice. 1 teaspoon of ground ginger. 8 ounces of sultanas. Right, we need 6 ounces of, I'll show you, I'll just bring this in. 6 ounces of white sugar. 6 ounces of brown sugar. That's 6 ounces each, okay? White sugar. And we need 2 teaspoons of salt. That's 2 teaspoons of salt. And we need half a pint of malt vinegar. It's going to be exactly half a pint. If you put any more in, the marrow lets a lot of moisture out and it'll be too weak. Okay, we do the marrow now. Okay, now I'm going to peel the marrow and chop it. So what I'll do is, I'll cut it in small sections because it's easier. Just tap it. It's easier to actually peel it. So what I'll do it in different sections like that. The knife is a bit tough because it's ready for picking. There we go. Keep doing that until it gets done. And I forgot, you need 1 large jar, pickling jar, with the rubber lid. And I'll show you that when it comes to this, I'll show you how to get this done. Now, peeling it. If you can peel it. It's a bit awkward to peel because it's a bit tough, the marrow, which is normal. So what I normally do is cut it in half and small pieces, and it's easy to do it in small sections in the large piece because it's a bit tough. Just get the skin off. Okay, see, that is the skin. Now I take the inside. Take your hands and just scoop the inside. There you go. And if you can do 1 pound of marrow like this, when you've done that, the whole pound of marrow and weighed, then you cut it up in small pieces like this, like that. That's the size you need to cut your marrow. That's the chunks. So you do a pound in weight of the marrow. It will take me a little while to do it, so I'll get it done. I'll come back to you in a minute. Okay, you have to skin the tomatoes. So the way to do the skin of tomatoes is you boil the kettle and you pour the boiling water over the tomatoes to cover it, like so. It's all covered. And just leave it for a few minutes to cool down, and I'll show you how to actually take the skin off the tomatoes. While you're waiting for that, we need to crush the garlic. Can you see the skins coming off the tomatoes? Can you see that? See the bottom one there, where the skin's actually coming away from the tomato. Okay, while the tomatoes are being done, waiting for the skin to come off, we have to crush the garlic. So what you do, get your garlic, get a strong knife, put it in there. You can do this one at a time and just, okay, and then you turn it over, and then you do the same thing. There you go. Do the same thing again. Yeah, 1 crushed garlic. Just make little chops in it, and that's ready to go into the chutney. Okay, I've done the garlic, waiting for the tomatoes. The next stage is, if you can get a little bag, you have to put your pickling spices in a little bag, not in the chutney itself. It's going to go into a little bag, you tie it up, and what I would do normally, I would actually roll it around like that, tie it very tightly. So you'll have to find a little bag, you can buy these in the shops as pickling spice bags, if you can, and then you just drop it into the chutney, and I'll show you that when I do it. Okay, I've started a few because there's quite a few to do. So what it is, as you can see, when the skin comes off the water is still a bit hot, so just be a bit careful. And all you have to do is take the skin off like that, the tomatoes. If you find there's a few that the skin's a little bit difficult, then just peel it off, or just put it back in a bit more hot water. See that one? So that might be a little bit still the skin a bit on, so just carefully take it off like that. And that is how you skin the tomatoes. So keep doing that, and then you have to chop the tomatoes up small after. Nearly there. There's a few more to do. Okay, now the tomato skin is off, I'm just going to roughly chop the tomatoes up. Not too small, just like 4/4, or not too big and not too small, because you don't want to be squashy. In 4s would be okay. Big tomatoes, do it 6. Like that, that's a big one. So you go 1, 2, and the big pieces, just do it again. So you go. Doesn't have to be perfect, just very, very roughly chopped, that's all. So I'll carry on doing that, and then I'll come back to the next stage. Now the cooking stage is, you need a nice large pan to cook the chutney in. Don't have a tiny little pan because it needs room to cook. One large pan, all the ingredients in, so you have your tomatoes, you have the marrow, you have your sultanas, you have your onions, you have your ginger, you have your salt, you have your sugar's going in, and then you have your malt vinegar. You put those in. Oh, don't forget your garlic. And then you get a wooden spoon and you stir that in, mix it all up on a high heat. Keep mixing it until the sugar and everything mixes in. Keep mixing it up like that. And then you put your pickling spice bag, pickling spice bag on the side. If you can, try and get it on the handle so it's actually, or you can actually drop it straight into the into pickle. That's that there. So keep stirring it. Keep stirring it. Then you come to the boil. Keep stirring it, and you'll be turning down to simmer. Right, that's it. When it comes to the boil, I'll show you the next stage. Okay, now it's boiling. You have to turn it down to a very low heat to simmer, a simmering heat. And then I shall tell you how long it takes. I'll have to time it. Okay, this has been simmering for 3 hours, and this is what it looks like. To test it, you draw it back, and you don't get a lot of fluid coming through. That means it's done. Can you see? That's nice and thick. Okay, now we shall bottle it. There's my jar. It's nice and clean, and it's got the rubber ring there to seal. Now we shall put it in the chutney jar. I've made this before, and it's really, really very, very nice. Okay, put it in the storage jar, in the chutney jar. You can buy these jars in the shop. Don't use don't get metal onto the chutney, or else it'll go mouldy. It's all in there. And you have to keep this for 3 months to marinate and to actually get the flavours to go right through. That is the allspice. So leave that there. You don't need that in the jar. That's it. Put that in there. While it's hot, right, you get a wax paper, put it over the top, close the lid, so it's sealed tightly like that, and then you store it away in my cupboard in there. And I shall show you one I've made before. I've made 2 jars. Okay, this is one. This is one I've made 3 months ago. Okay, and this is what it's like after 3 months. You can eat it with anything. You can have it with on a sandwich. You can have it with some quiche, pasta, anything you like, not just cheese. This is marrow and red tomato chutney, and I hope you enjoy it.